Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for a minute. I'm with you for a minute. Um, Ask me how long that is, and that's not 60 seconds. But I'm not gonna say I'm just here for an hour or for two or whatever. We'll talk until we get tired of talking. How about that? How about that? Of course, the big news of the day is well, before we get to that, uh, I know some people still getting drunk over there with Lincoln Ware. I'm watching him as he gets drunk. Good afternoon, Anthony. Yeah, I'm watching Lincoln get drunk. So now all these drunk people gonna come over here to the afternoon experiment, and we'll do a half drunk, half sober show. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And you got to wait a minute, or at least I have to wait a minute. I don't like that background. Hold on, something going on here. I have to make some adjustments on the fly. Make some adjustments on the fly. Robert Willis, good afternoon. Let's see if we go here. That should clear that up. All right. Yes, yes, I need something. Yeah, we're gonna get all the drunk people in here talking crazy. What's the topic today, Tyrone? You know what the topic is. The topic is this Roe v. Wade for a minute. We got to talk about Roe v. Wade being overturned. I mean, that's big news. That's big news. We knew it was gonna happen, but it's still big news. And all the networks are covering it wall to wall, wall to wall Roe v. Wade coverage. Like there's virtually nothing else going on. That's it. Roe v. Wade. And we'll talk about it a little bit. I got something over here that keeps vibrating. And I don't know what it is. Because my phone is over here. Maybe it is. Maybe it is my phone vibrating. But I keep hearing something vibrate over here. But so yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Roe v. Wade. Got to talk a little bit about it. Um, and for me, it's simple. How do I say it? I don't want to offend, but I got to be me. I got to be true to who I am and what I believe. Okay. Don't get pregnant if you don't want to have a baby. Don't go out and get pregnant if you don't want to have a baby. That's like a fundamental thing that we should know and understand. Hold on a second. Oh, what about rape? What about incest? I'll get to that. I'll get to that. But if you don't want to have a baby, protect yourself and don't have a baby. There's a surefire protection. Again, we're not talking about rape. We're not even talking about incest yet. We'll get to those. But there's a surefire protection. Don't do it. Don't do it. But if you out there having sex, protected or unprotected, you know that that is something that can happen. So if you don't want to have a baby, stop having sex and doing the things that lead to having a baby. That's first. That's just common sense to me. That's common sense to me. Look, I'm gonna get to everything. You know, everybody gonna be mad. Well, not everybody. Some people gonna be mad, but I'm gonna just say some things. I'm gonna just say some things, and the things that I'm gonna say, I think, are kind of undisputable. You act like they don't get good. No, it's good. It's good. And and you don't want a baby, don't do it. You don't want a baby, don't do it. Can we all agree to that? Can we all agree that that's reasonable? I'm not ready for no kids. You might not be ready for sex. You might not be ready for sex then. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, can we all agree that that's reasonable? Can we all? There's only what, like 40 something live watching right now. Show of hands, that's reasonable. Anybody? Anybody? No, sir, not on this one. I can't agree with you. Janice says, unfortunately, it's not always voluntary. You weren't here. Again, I said I'll get to like rape and incest and all that stuff. I'll get to that. I'm talking about the voluntary stuff. Right now, I'm talking about the voluntary stuff. Because I know, people want to keep bringing that in. People want to, we're going to get to that. And look, the reason that I'm kind of staying on this for a second is because I kind of want us to like be serious about it, because we'll never get to the like this. It's just the truth. So when you want to avoid the simple truths to get to the difficult stuff, I think you have to have, sometimes in a conversation, you have to have a baseline. And that's why I'm asking, can we all agree? I'm trying to get a baseline. Can we all agree that if you say, I'm not ready for a baby, again, we're not talking about rape or incest or any of that non-voluntary stuff yet. We're going to get to that. We're just talking about you out there doing it, tearing it up. If you don't want to have a baby, don't do it. All right. So everybody kind of agree with that. Now, all right, let's look at the fact. Everybody ain't gonna do that. Everybody ain't gonna do that. See what I'm saying? I'm getting there. I'm gonna cover all that other stuff. Everybody ain't gonna do that. Cause like Yo Underwood says, sometimes that stuff is good. Sometimes that stuff is good. It just is good. It feel good. It smell good. It look good. It tastes good. It's just good. So sometimes it's just good. So you do it even though you don't want to have a baby. Okay. You pretend, you know what I mean? You protect yourself. So even if you go do it and you don't want to have a baby, use protection. The best protection that you can. All right? Like, I don't want to have a baby. So I got a vasectomy because I don't want no baby. Best protection that you can. You don't want to have a baby, but you want to do it. Use the best protection that you can. Again, we're talking about this because of Roe v. Wade. And I want people to, I'm going to say, put this in its proper perspective. I think everybody here is familiar with my take on abortion. But we're going to get to it. We're going to define some stuff. But so use protection. And then if you use protection and the protection fails, now you got a very difficult choice to make. You put yourself in a very difficult position. Again, we are just talking about the voluntary stuff. We'll get to the other stuff. See, Janice don't want to talk about this simple stuff. You want to talk about, and to me, that's a part of the problem. Nobody want to say to these young women and some older women, well, if you don't want to have a baby, maybe you shouldn't be having sex. Nobody wants to say that. We want to skip over that. And then abortion becomes a form of birth control for some people instead of don't do it or use some good protection or whatever. Uh, At some point, we got to just be like, look, this is the truth. This is the story. This is how it's going down. This is the truth. This is the story. And this is how it's going down. Tell these young girls, these older women, tell people, if you men, if you don't want to have a baby, don't do it. Then, if you just got to do it, that urge is pulling on you. That urge is pulling on you. Janice says, of course, that is said to women. No, it's not said enough to women. In the society that we live in today, if you don't want to have a baby, have an abortion. If you get pregnant, then you can have that abortion. There are people who use that. Like, I had to make a decision for what was right for my life. So no, that's not said to a lot of women. It's really not. It's really not. But then, okay, so now we've said it. Now we've said it. We got some pushback, but we still said it. And we said use protection. But now you've put yourself potentially in a bad situation. So what do you do now? So what do you do now? Okay, here's Janice trying to deflect. Janice, well, what are men saying the boys want? We're not talking about them yet. We get to them. See, you want to jump all over the place because it's frustrating because people don't like to deal with the hard facts. People don't like to deal with the hard facts. They want to deal with everything else. Y'all know all I've said so far is if you don't want a baby, don't do it and use protection. How do you get pushback on that? What about the men? Well, what about rape and incest? Well, what about birth control and maybe they don't have it? Or what about that? What about we deal with? You don't know what girls are saying to other girls. Come on. Come on. Um, Let me see. I don't understand why there's a debate about abortion. If you don't believe in abortion, then you shouldn't get one. It's no one's right to dictate others' lives. Well, now that ain't true. That ain't true. You can't have it both ways. See, y'all want to have it both ways. People dictate people's lives. Y'all know we had that whole thing about mandating vaccines. That's dictating people's lives. We dictate what people can and cannot do every day. What do you think all these laws are? They're dictating to you what you can do and what you cannot do, what you'll be punished for doing and what you're allowed to do without punishment. So if we want to walk around and pretend that nobody can dictate anybody else's life, then fine, cool. Do anything you want to do and try to get away with it. But that's not the reality that we live in. It's not. I'm trying to talk reality. I'm trying to talk reality. Y'all trying to talk other stuff. So, all right, now you've put yourself in a position. You had abortion as an option, but there might be places where you don't have abortion as an option. So let's look. What is abortion? What is abortion to you? What is abortion? Because I'd imagine it's different things for different people. Now, for me, it's killing somebody. For me, it's killing somebody. And I guess if you look at it like this is why I'm trying to go through these steps. If you look at it like this, um, I didn't want a baby, but I really wanted to have sex. And maybe I used some sort of protection and it didn't work or something like that. Maybe, something didn't work. But now I'm not ready for that in my life. So, and again, I'm going from me because your definition of what an abortion is might be different than mine. I don't want my life to be inconvenienced. So let me kill this baby. So let me kill this baby. You decide what you want to do. There are people who would look at it that way, and that's the way that they'll get down. The afternoon experiment is an example of people dictating others' lives. Meh, people trying, yeah. Um, Let me see. Didn't you quit your job for not getting the vaccine? No, I didn't. You agree with me. No one dictates your life but you, so you quit. No, I didn't quit. I didn't. I was terminated because they said you either do this or you get terminated, which is also a way of dictating. They said, if you don't do what we say do, the punishment is you lose this job. I didn't quit. I was fired. I was terminated. That was the punishment. But it's still, on some level, somebody dictating something in my life. That's just the truth. Like, I don't know why we don't want to be honest with ourselves sometimes. That's just the truth. So, anyway, so now we're at a point where you got this baby in you. You got this baby in you by your choice, by your actions. And it all depends on your definition of what an abortion is. That's what this kind of comes down to. And people like to play around with words. Again, I look at it as you killing a baby, but everybody don't look at it that way. I accept that everybody don't look at it that way. Some people are, oh, you're terminating a pregnancy. You're terminating a pregnancy. Well, what was that pregnancy? What was that pregnancy? That's a little baby growing in there. That was a little baby growing in there. So, however you want to do it, that's what's at stake. That's what's at stake. And that's the simple way of not getting yourself in that position. But we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with that. Let's go to the hard stuff. Let's go to the hard stuff. We want to, because that's the part we want to deal with. That's what we want to fight over. We don't want to fight over the simple stuff that we refuse to do. We want to fight over the hard stuff once we've refused to do what we should have probably done. So let's go to the hard stuff. Let's go to the hard stuff. Rape, incest, and other forms of forcing someone to be impregnated against their will. They didn't want it. You made them do it in some way, shape, or form. First, that should never happen. That should never happen. I think rapists and people who do commit acts of incest should do a whole lot of time. I don't believe in the death penalty, but they should do a whole lot of time. Like, that should be really, really serious. Like, there shouldn't be no minor rape charge. You know what I'm saying? If you rape somebody, you rape somebody. If you committed an act of incest, you committed an act of incest. And now, again, it really does still come down to, well, what do you think abortion is? When does life begin and all of that kind of stuff? But people ain't really thinking about that. People ain't really. The only people thinking about that is people like me. People like me. Like, I don't. I'm not gonna have no abortion. I'm a man. I don't have a uterus. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get pregnant. And if I get somebody pregnant, I'm looking at that from the perspective of, that's my baby. I ain't got to carry it. I ain't got to, deal with everything that goes along with having a baby and all of the changes and all that stuff in my body. So if in cases of rape and incest, see, why the F can't y'all admit that y'all like killing babies? Stop with all the excuses. I'm not sure who y'all like killing babies are. But that's hard. See, that's a difficult one. If you ask me, again, my feeling on it is a simple one. Don't kill the baby. Don't kill the baby. Got to be a way to figure it out without killing the baby. Without killing the baby. We'll deal with if the mother's life is at risk in a little bit. We'll deal with that in a little bit. But I would hope that you wouldn't kill the baby. I would hope that you wouldn't kill the baby. It ain't the baby's fault. The baby didn't do nothing wrong. Baby didn't ask that man to rape you or to commit an act of incest. But I see the other side too. That's why I said I would hope that you would say, it ain't this baby's fault. It ain't this baby's fault. But you should have an outlet to do what it is that you got to do. But I think a lot of this conversation comes from the fact that the pro abortion people, mm, y'all call yourselves pro choice. I call y'all the pro abortion people. The pro abortion people, y'all want to ignore all of that simple stuff. And that's why I keep asking. Let's see. Jason says, nah, no rape baby or brother son babies either. I would say this. I'll use Fantasia, but I know she's not the only one, but she's famous, so everybody know who she is for the most part. And apparently her child was a product of a rape. So what are we saying, Jason? That the baby is evil now? She had the baby. So now what's wrong with the baby? Like, why are we blaming the baby? Why are we mad at the baby? And she had, whatever, compassion, whatever you want to call it. She made a decision to have that baby. And she loved that baby. She loved that baby. So what's wrong? So what's wrong with it? She's talked about it. I remember right after she had won American Idol, she came into Cincinnati and she did a interview on I think it was on Sister Speak. She did an interview, and I think on one of the breaks, so it didn't actually air. She talked about it, and she talked about how much she loved her baby. But we talk about it. Jason said, no, 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 it's not evil. But I'm not for forcing women to have them kids. I'm not for forcing women to do anything. I'm not advocating that. But you look, sometimes in our society, because I heard Joyce on Lincoln's show talking about the Supreme Court took away a constitutional amendment. There's no pro-abortion constitutional amendment. There's no pro-abortion constitutional amendment that they took away. It's not. Are they taking away some options from you? Yeah. Yeah, they're taking away some options. They're taking away some options. And I think it all stems from how people view what abortion is. And I genuinely believe the reason you have this sharp divide is because people try to play games with what it is. People try to play games with what it is. I believe if the pro abortion people would come out and say, look, okay, it's killing the baby. It is killing the baby. Let's talk about why I might want to kill this baby. I honestly believe the anti abortion crowd would be like, hold on, wait a minute. They're admitting the truth. They would be so shocked that they would have to, let's talk. Let's talk. But the argument doesn't become necessarily about why I should have a right to choose this and why I should have the right to choose that, the argument becomes whether or not this is murdering a baby or whether or not this is just about my body. What's my body? It's my choice. Let me see. A man will never be able to understand this issue. Well, that's not true. That's quite nonsensical and exceptionally sexist. And I'm not even for abortion. It really sickens me to hear a man try to analyze what happens to a woman. I would say then this might not be the show for you. Might not. But I had the feeling, that some people gonna feel that way. Some people feel like if you're a man, you don't have a right to have an opinion about things that don't deal with men. But women have opinion about things that deal with men all the time. And I'm sorry, but that's what we gonna have. We and if you one of those men who are like, well, as a man, you don't have a say, you shouldn't have an opinion, and something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Here's what I know. And this is a part of why I don't agree with that at all. Part of why I don't agree with that at all. It's exceptionally offensive. Exceptionally offensive. When my child was conceived, when my child was conceived, I was still a man. Was I not allowed to, was I not allowed to have thoughts about it? Because believe it or not, the conversation of abortion came up. So should I have said, I'm a man, therefore I don't have any thoughts about it, and you do whatever it is that you want to do because I'm a man and I can't even analyze this situation? That's what I should have said. That's what I should have said. It's not nonsensical. It is. Just as a woman, I cannot analyze what happens to a man's body and how it functions. Of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. And it makes perfect sense too. That's like saying, as a black person, you can't analyze the thoughts of a white person. Of course you can. The things that we know, like some of this stuff is like purely scientific and biological. And then other parts of it are, kind of theoretical. So how you feel about what a thing is. What difference does it? Either you believe that that's a life or you don't. It don't matter if you're a man or if you're a woman. And I think that's what makes this thing just get like, is it a life? Are you killing something? And then just be honest about that. And then just be honest about that. You didn't want your body messed with when it came to the vaccine. Now you're running your mouth about someone else's body. Whose body am I running my mouth about? Just saying stupid stuff. And again, I'm for options. But that's what they're doing. They're taking away some options. So because to me, when you say they're forcing women to have babies, they just taking away some options. They're taking away some options. Certain states are going to take away some options. Other states, those options will still be there. I am pro-choice unapologetically. I don't ever intend to get one, but I don't judge others who have. Everyone's situation is different. And sometimes, whether people want to admit it or not, it's the best choice for some, which is why some do it. A lot of times it's selfish. It's selfish. Selfish for a lot of people. So when a lot of time when people say, "Oh, it was the best choice for me," yeah, it was the best choice for you. But what about that baby? What about that baby? Might not have been the best choice for them. But then somebody will say, maybe it was. Look at the life they would have lived. I'm just saying you gotta be honest about where you are with like all of these. It's the best choice for some. All of these kind of empty sayings that we use. But we're not really thinking about whatever happened. Uh, the woman's body. What about it? The woman's body does exist. What about the baby? What about the baby? I mean, unless you just like F a baby. And if that's how you feel, just say that. Just say it. Say F unborn babies. Because if your only consideration is what's best for that woman, if that's your only consideration, I'm not saying that that's everybody's only consideration, but a lot of the times the way that we talk about this stuff, which again, in my opinion, is how we get here. It's how we get here. Because we don't want to just be honest and talk about the stuff. We don't want to just be honest and talk about the stuff. Oh, the people do what's best for them without consideration for anybody else. I think that's called being selfish. When you just do what's best for you without consideration for how it affects anybody else, I think that's called selfish. But we down with that because, it's a woman. And as a man, you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to have a thought. Again, I go back to when my child was conceived. I had thoughts and opinions, and wasn't nobody gonna take them away from me. Wasn't nobody gonna take them away from me. I wasn't gonna say, "Well, I'm a man, so I don't have a choice in the matter. I'm a man, and it's not my body, so you whatever you say goes, and that's just that. Well, I'm a man, and so I don't have a right to." I wasn't gonna say that. So for all y'all who run around talking about men don't have a shouldn't have a thought about it, how irresponsible would that have been of me? Nah, I wanted my child to come forth. I wanted my child to come forth, and I made that known, even as a man, even as a man, even though it was her body, even though it was her choice. That was that was a baby. That was my child to me. I like the idea that there are some options there. I like the idea that there are some options there because there are some cases, and that's what when you go to talking about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. As Jerica says, side note, it's okay to be selfish at times. It is. It is. Here's what Janice is pushing for. But if she had decided, you never would have known. I would have known. Some way, somehow, I would have known. But that's what some of y'all, I'm not saying all, that's what some of y'all women want. That I don't understand this whole thirst for this ultimate power. Because that's what that comes down to. That's what that comes down to. I got power and you don't. I got power and you don't. For all y'all, the pro-abortion people, Myosha, can you tell me an instance where abortion is not okay? Tell me an instance where abortion is not okay. Anyone, just make something up. DD says, I gave you a break and you still misogynist. Damn. What am I saying that's misogynist? Advocating for babies is misogyny? Advocating for babies is misogyny? How would you have known? Just wondering. I'd have felt it. I'd have felt it. Because believe it or not, before she told me she was pregnant, I felt it. I felt it. And I was the one like, are you pregnant? No, I ain't pregnant. You sure you ain't pregnant? I'm not pregnant. When we go get a test. I'm not pregnant. Well, then it won't hurt to take a pregnancy test, then will it? I'm pregnant. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Don't tell me I wouldn't have known. Maybe as a woman, you should keep that nonsense to yourself. Because maybe you can't talk about what goes on inside of a man. Let me see. Okay, we got two of them. Let's see. Meiosis says, nope. Cannot tell you an instance when abortion is not okay. Exactly. Exactly. If you can't even think of a single instance where abortion is not okay, you're very much pro abortion. Let me see. Here we go. Abortion is always okay. Always. Under every circumstance. Always. Keep it safe and legal. Try a vasectomy and leave women's bodies alone. No one's messing with women's bodies. So that's just it. When you're talking about taking away options, that's not me messing with your body. Actually, you getting the abortion is messing with your body. Me saying, we're not going to touch you. We're going to let what naturally happens happen. That's not messing with anybody's body. That's not messing with anybody's body. Not messing with your body is what you're against. I'm saying you're pro abortion. You're saying you're pro choice. I'm saying you're pro abortion. And there's nothing wrong with being pro abortion if that's what you are. Nothing wrong with it if that's what you are. Yeah, we like to use these. We're pro choice. We're pro abortion. But taking away options is not the same as forcing you to do something. Forcing you would be strapping you down and forcefully giving you an abortion. Nobody's doing that. They're doing the exact opposite. Now, look. Again, these are my views on abortion because it's my views on life. And I believe all life is valuable. Unlike some, Myosha, I believe all life is valuable. All of it. So I don't believe in the death penalty. But, whatever you make, whatever choice, I guess it is that you want to make, you okay with snuffing out life? Go ahead. Hold on, Myosha says, you're not offending me by saying I'm pro abortion. I know because you're pro abortion. And I wouldn't imagine that that would be offensive. I'm so not offended by that label. I didn't imagine that you would be because you're pro abortion. Think what you want about me. Don't care. I I would not think I was actually not trying to be offensive. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. And I don't know why don't people want to just say it? Why don't people want to just say it? I mean, you can hear it. And I think you can't have a real conversation about it. You might not lose all of those options that some people are about to lose if you're just honest about it. If you're just honest about it. I I don't believe women should kill babies. I don't believe men should kill babies. I don't believe anybody should kill babies. I don't believe it. And I believe killing an unborn baby, again, if you decide to go get an abortion, you're no better than me if I decide to kick that chick in the tummy that's pregnant to try to force her to lose that baby. Because I'm worried about how it's going to affect my life. I don't want to pay the child support. I'm not ready for a child. It's the same thing, just one is, more of a medical procedure and the other very much not. But I don't, you're trying to be offensive, but I'm not offended. I'm not trying to be offensive. That's like me saying, you're a woman, or are you trying to offend me? No, I'm just stating a fact. I'm not trying to offend you. So I'm me saying that you're pro abortion. It's not me trying to offend you. It's just a fact. So trust me, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to offend you. The difference is, what if the chick that you kicked wanted her baby? That's a big difference. No, no, it's not. Not a big difference. Here's how it's not a big difference. Here's how it's not a big difference. Is abortion murder? Is that a life? Is that a life? Because if that's a life, abortion is murder. If that's a life, abortion is murder. Which means the dude kicking the chick in the belly would be murdering that baby, whether she want it or not. Murder is murder, whether you want it or not. If it's a life and you kill it, you murdered it, whether you wanted it or not. Okay, let's say it's not a life yet. It's a fetus. It's a fetus. It's not a life yet. All right, let's DD. I'm with you now. Here we go. Abortion is not murder. We have already established this in medicine. Well, we haven't, but okay. So if abortion ain't murder, it's not a life. How is me kicking that chick in the stomach murder? It wasn't a life. You can't murder something that was never alive, whether she wanted it or not. Whether she wanted it or not. One would then be just a simple assault, which is bad. You ain't just walking around kicking people. It's assault. But you shouldn't be able to add nothing else to it. Well, but she wanted it. No, it's assault. Don't matter if she wanted it. It wasn't a life. Yeah, you got to draw these lines. Was it a life or was it not a life? You can't say, well, it was a life if in my mind I wanted it to come to fruition. Then it was a life at this point. No, either it was a life or it was not a life. It can't be different rules. Agreed. The chick is alive, and that's why I said it would be a simple assault. But it wouldn't be a murder if it's not a life. It wouldn't be murder if it's not a life. It depends on where she is in her pregnancy. Same with abortion, apparently. Whenever it becomes a life, so when do you say abortion is not okay? Well, again, I'm addressing some of these people who said there's never a point when it's not okay. There's never a point when it's not okay. That, y'all have to understand that what I'm saying is in your mind, because it's all individual. In your mind, you have to make these decisions. You got to make these decisions. And they can't be floating decisions, which is what, and that's it. That's why we got all of this confusion. Because we got all of these floating definitions. Well, it is a life if she wants it, but if she doesn't want it, then it's not a life. But then it is a life if he does it and she didn't want it. It becomes a life because he did it. And but if she didn't, and it's just stuff floating all over the place. Make up your mind. When is it a life? When is it okay to kill it? If it's a life. And why can't we just be honest? I like that Myosha finally said, I'm pro abortion. Because don't use all those fancy little I'm pro choice. No, you are what you are. And then you can have an actual, honest, open dialogue about it. And then, to Jerica's point, you can get to when are we going to talk about adoption? When are we going to talk about adoption? Everybody just, she didn't say this, I'm adding this part. Everybody just cool and comfortable, just murdering babies, terminating pregnancies. But really, nobody's thinking, okay, that's a child. And maybe I had a child. Maybe I had a child. And we'll put the baby up for adoption. And maybe more people need to think about, seriously consider adopting. Daryl says it's about to be an uptick in overfilled orphanages and illegal abortions. And that's sad because it could be an uptick in people taking more ownership of their body. Like, just because you take the abortion option away doesn't mean there has to be more unwanted baby. Now, again, in the reality that we live in, because we don't stress, don't have babies that you don't want. We don't stress, don't have sex if you ain't ready for a baby. We don't stress that. If I got on here, I'm just being honest. If I got on here, well, maybe not on here, but I say I was still on the radio and I got on the radio station and did a show about abstinence, I would get shot down so fast. I would get shot down so fast. Ain't nobody gonna be abstinent. That's old fashioned stuff. I would get shot down so fast. But now we're gonna have an uptick in uh, the number of unwanted kids in orphanages and illegal abortions. We don't have to. If we start talking about responsibility, you can't do that because then you slut shaming. Myosha says, I've never debated the fact that losing a baby through kicking or medical procedure is the same thing. I'm saying you kicking a woman who wanted her baby is different than a woman who didn't want her baby. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. He said assaulting a pregnant woman and killing the unborn child is the same as an abortion. Yeah, I'm comfortable. I can stay with that. Yeah, yeah. If you say to me it's okay to abort what an 8 week fetus or whatever it's called at 8 weeks, I don't know. If that's okay and that's not murder, then me causing that 8 week fetus to not come to fruition is not murder because we both did the same thing. Yeah, I stick by that. Stop sleeping with all these men unprotected when you can't care for them. All right. So now, okay, Logic Slayer wants to move to what about if the pregnancy isn't viable and the woman's life is in danger? Would abortion be okay then? Depends. Again, all of this stuff depends on you. You tell me, would abortion be okay then? I can share my thoughts on it, but those are just my thoughts. I can only share my thoughts or things that I've heard from other people. So you tell me. I'm not the ultimate authority on this stuff. I'm just trying to get y'all to have honest dialogue with yourself. And then, of course, with other people who maybe don't see things the way you see them. But if you running around um pretending to be something that you're not and trying to use things to make what you believe sound better, the anti-abortion people are not going to take you serious. And the conversation then just devolves to something that is not productive. But you can actually have a productive conversation with somebody that you don't agree with. And maybe if that type of stuff was actually happening, those options wouldn't be going away. I genuinely believe, I genuinely believe that when you have conversations with people and you talk about stuff and you're honest about it, you can make people see, not agree, but you can make people see people with an open mind. And there's a few people on here who clearly don't have an open mind. And actually, I'm not talking about Myosha. There's a few people in here who clearly don't have an open mind about it. But people with an open mind can at least see where you're coming from. And I believe that that's the beginning of, if you want to say compromise, that's the beginning of compromise. I don't agree with you, but I see where you're coming from. So how can we make this work? But if you just all over the place, you make it sound like a happily married couple who practices safe sex still can't get pregnant. As you already know, I'm an accident. How did I make it seem like that? When did I say anything that would make it seem like that doesn't happen? Um, Let me see. I would still be having children if my wife hadn't said she was done. It was her choice. I didn't argue. Just don't think opening the door for people who empower, who clearly are imputing their personal views on things, is a good idea. But Anthony, the only thing I would say to that is no one said that you can't, no one's forcing women to have babies. Again, I don't believe that taking away the option is the same as forcing you to have a baby. Because you got so many options up to that. You act like you're the ultimate authority on this stuff, though. What part of, see, this is the stuff I'm talking about. What part of, I'm just sharing my thoughts. My thoughts are not your thoughts. They're just my thoughts. And I can only share my thoughts with y'all. Of course, I think I'm right. If I didn't think I was right, I would change my opinion to think I was right. Why don't people understand? Yes, I think I'm right. I think everything that I think is right. Who don't? If you don't and you keep thinking that, you got a mental problem. You got a mental problem. Let me see. I think I'm wrong, but I'm going to keep this opinion, even though I think it's wrong. Who are those people? Yes, I think I'm right. Let's see. Here's one without an open mind. One, so I kicked my girl in the stomach. The baby dies. That means the baby was alive. I'm going to pause right there because that means that you believe that that child is alive at that point. Okay. The baby dies. I explained to the judge that I was giving her an abortion. You get locked the F up. Probably. But if at that exact same point in her pregnancy, she goes and lays down and kills that baby, it's cool. That's not right. If it's wrong to kill the baby, it's wrong to kill the baby. That's the point that you're missing. If it's wrong to kill the baby, it's wrong to kill the baby. What's the number of this show? 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. That's the number to this show. I'm not 513 people texting me. What's the call-in number? 513-717-5464 is the call-in number. You're talking to little girls who don't have core beliefs, just what they were told to believe. That's why they attack instead of having a productive dialogue. Anthony says, just speaking on how all the decision came about. The far right has been positioning themselves for this for years to get to this point here. Yeah. Hold on. Did you call and it not ring? I'm sorry. I have to let me call and make sure. Oh, I hate when I forget to do something. Let's see. Yes, it is hooked up. I'm calling me right now and it is ringing. So, yes, it is. The phones are open and ready to go. Oh my goodness, there's a bee down here. Okay, some things might go crazy for a second. Y'all know I'm at war with the bees. I got to do this. I missed him. My phone slipped out my hand. There's a bee in here. Oh my goodness. Why did I pick up my call? I didn't want to talk to me. Oh, there's a bee in here, y'all. Y'all know I'm like super distracted now. I'm super distracted. How did a bee get in? How did a bee get in? Oh my God. Y'all know we at war. We are at war. And I see him or her flying around. Oh my God. All right. I'll be right back. I will be right back. I got to take care of this beat. I don't, we at war. Hold on. Hold on. All right. I am back. I had to handle it. Got the carpenter bee and yellow jacket spray. Kills them on contact. All right. Um, where was I at? The V totally threw me off. Totally threw me off. Uh, where was that? I don't even know where I was. I'm totally thrown off now. Somebody help me. Where was I at? He was right here on my console. I mean, he was trying to inch closer. I know that trick. I know that trick. Um, that's right. Look. We are at war. It's understood, and it is what it is. It's either him or me, and he was coming for me, so I had to come for him. He was coming for me. I had to get him first. Um, okay, and I left the comment up good. Just speaking on how we all know this decision came about. The far right has been positioning themselves for years to get to this point. I agree they have. But that's again, I believe that's because we haven't really had discussions. Like people, I don't believe we've had true, honest discussions about it. Like if you are pro abortion or pro choice, they may never see things eye to eye with you. But if you can honestly explain to people where you're coming from, I think that opens the door for honest dialogue. I think that honestly opens the door for honest dialogue. And I don't know that we would have necessarily been at this point. I don't know that we would have been at this point. But we here now. Some options are going to be taken off the table. And as they say in church, govern yourself accordingly. And hopefully, what Daryl said doesn't happen. Hopefully, what Daryl said doesn't happen. That we end up with more illegal abortions and more kids in orphanages. It don't have to be that way. People could just be responsible, more responsible. All right, Jericho says, moving on. Did we see the naked lady at the airport? No. But what I did see, I wanted to discuss this for a second. The dude in court, and I know I'll get in trouble for this. Somebody will call me and be mad at me. because they always are. The dude in court who attacked the guy who's accused of killing um, the woman and the young child, the Richardsons. I feel so bad for that dude. I feel so bad for that father. Somebody killed your child, and you got to sit there and watch them. You just got to watch them. You got to see them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the closure of even having a funeral. Because even though and he can't be if he's not alive, there's a really good chance he's at rest. The funeral, I've always felt like, again, this is my thoughts and my opinion. The funeral is for the people who still alive. The funeral is for the people who still alive. It gives us closure. That's like our final opportunity to say goodbye. If we didn't get to say goodbye in natural life or whatever. So, you don't get to have a funeral for your child. You get no closure. He's still walking around. You angry, you upset. And think about it. All you can do is run up there and sock a dude. That's all you got. That's it. You try to sock him. But that's all you got. That's gotta be a terrible, terrible feeling. But I tell you what I noticed, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. When he ran up there, I watched the video. Watched it a couple times. When he ran up there, and then he did what he did. And again, I'm not mad at him. It's terrible. I understand it. It's terrible. Because again, like I said, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. Like, I'm not even gonna try to. I could not imagine what that feels like. So you run up, you do what you do. The police tackle him. The police tackle him. Hold on, let me deal with this real quick. Because people say stupid stuff, and I address stupid stuff too. Now you saying dude killed little Nio. Before you wasn't sure because Dieters was prosecuting the case. I'm glad that Nilo's daddy got his punk ass. I never said he didn't kill him. I said we don't know. I still don't know. Again, just like I said then, I believe it, but I don't believe something just because Joe Dieter say it. That was my point. That was my point. But again, some people are just stupid and they can't comprehend simple points. And that would be Blackwoodfish. But when they tackled him, there was 2 female sheriffs. One, I'm gonna say on the bottom, the other on top. One on the bottom, kind of holding him from the side, and the other on top of him. And y'all tell me if I read it wrong, if I read too much into it, whatever. The one on top was like really, really, really aggressive. And one on the bottom was really calm. They both had the same job, and they were both doing the same job. But one of them showed a level of aggression that I didn't think was necessary, especially since you already got dude down on the ground pinned. And how is it? I mean, it's the difference, maybe just in personality. One of them is, kind of on the radio, like, hey, da, 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 telling the judge, hey, hit your panic button. And, telling dude, like, hey, calm down, calm down. The one on top, stop it, sit down, don't do more, like the chick in Police Academy almost. And I was like, why? Why that level of aggression. Like, why can, yeah, one of them was white and one of them was black. Why can this white lady calmly say, hey, calm down? Like, kind of empathize with him in that way to kind of calm him down, at least attempt to calm him down and be calm about it. And the African American lady was screaming at the brother. And I'm not gonna lie, now I've seen it a million times. And in my head, it's always gonna be the opposite. Especially, especially in that situation. Now, maybe, because y'all know some people internalize things. So maybe the sister was like, we in court, this brother making us all look bad, and blah blah blah. So there was some level of aggressiveness there. Maybe. But I was watching it just thinking, and then the white dudes all came in. One of them was a little aggressive, but the other two, I think, understood the situation because he was still trying to get at the dude. And one dude was using that, what I call command presence. Stop it! Calm down! The other dudes was kind of like, hey, stop. Hey, stop, stop. And to me, given that situation, that whole hollering, screaming, command presence thing, I don't think was necessary. Yes, he was aggressive. Yes, he was hurting. Yes, he wanted to get at the dude. You don't need to, in my opinion, you don't need to meet that level of aggressiveness in him with aggressiveness. Because he is clearly just acting out of hurt and pain. He's clearly acting out of hurt and pain. And it just bothered me. It just bothered me that the white lady was so calm and the sister was that aggressive. Vocally aggressive towards him. Now later on, and then she was still aggressive with it. Like, I think he asked her at some point, was she okay? She said something to the effect of, I just want to make sure you're okay. And I'm like, so there was some compassion there. But I wanted to do it. Some of my law enforcement friends, because I have some, can we be mindful of how we deal with each other? Again, I would have expected it to be reversed. I would have expected, and maybe people like, hey, I'm black, you black, so I got to hold you to a higher standard. Maybe I'm black, you black, I know how to talk to, you know. But the white chick was, it felt like the white chick was like, this dude hurt. We got him down. He's still struggling a little bit, but it's because he hurting. It's because he ain't got no closure. And like the sister was like, oh no, he ain't gonna challenge my authority up in here. I'm not saying, I don't know what was going through her head. So I'm not saying that's what she was feeling. And I'm certain that that's how she was trained. My guess is that's how she was trained. The training says use that command presence, use that voice. You got to talk to them this way. Not black people, but just quote unquote criminals, aggressive people. They're aggressive. You got to be aggressive. You got to get in there and be aggressive. And after watching that, and then, like I said, they'll think it was like 3 white men came, and then I think the black woman was like, "Get him up," and they got him up, and then something happened, and either she stumbled or something like that. She was on the whatever, and that was when I think he asked her. I didn't hear him actually ask her, but her response says to me, he asked her, "Was she okay?" And she was like, "I'm fine. I just want to make sure you okay." And out the corner of my eye, on the other side of the screen, I saw a black male deputy standing back there. And I was thinking, oh, please don't, you don't have to be aggressive, bruh. Bruh, you don't have to be aggressive with him. They got him. Please don't get in there and show that you can be tougher. Please don't get in there and show the white guys that you can be tougher on the black guys. Please don't. And he didn't. But I feel bad for having that thought. And I don't feel bad like I shouldn't have that thought. I feel bad because I've seen it enough to where when after police, when Ice Cube say they slam you down to the street top, black police showing out for the white cop, I've seen that. I've seen it. You went from telling women what to do with their bodies. I went from suggesting that life is valuable. I'll just correct it as we go. To calling out the sister for being overly aggressive. To suggesting that vocally she might have been a little more aggressive than she needed to be. And contrasting that with the white woman who was there, who was exceptionally calm and definitely not. I'm scared now. I felt a little wind blow a hair on my arm, and I was like, "B." But comparing the two, definitely not the same level of aggression. Will says, "Yeah, they're doing the most. Just watch the video. This is sad." But Donna says, "I seen it too." So I'm not kind of bashing the sister. I don't know what was going through her head. I don't know what was going through her head. It just bothers me a little bit when I see this stuff though. And I often wonder, because y'all know I watch like First Amendment audits and cop watch and stuff like that. And when I see stuff, I know I'm processing it through my filter. I know, it's coming in through here and the way that I'm perceiving it. And that's why I ask, tell me if I'm wrong. Like if I'm off base on a thing, tell me. Tell me. I think you might be off base on this one. And then, we can dialogue about it and, maybe we'll we'll see. We'll see. You might actually change my mind. My mind has been changed on a number of things. And it's not just about changing my mind. It's about us kind of helping each other see things through everybody's different experiences. Cuz I don't like feeling the way that I feel about some law enforcement. I really don't like it. I really don't. I won't believe this, but I want to feel good about law enforcement. I want to feel happy when I see law enforcement. I want to feel safe. I want to feel that stuff that they told me when I was a little kid that I was supposed to feel. Like the police are your friend. The police are there to help you. And you know what I'm saying? I want to feel all of that. But my real life experience And the things that I see won't allow me to. Won't allow me to. But I want it more than you could imagine. And it's kind of really, that's me saying, I want to live in a world. I want to experience a world where law enforcement do what they're supposed to do. Not too much, not too little. But that's a hard thing, for law enforcement to do. It's a line. It's a line that you gotta. Some police is there to kick your A, if not kill you. I don't want to feel that way. Well, y'all, for those of you who saw that video, I'm asking a legit question. At least it's legit in my opinion. Am I off base on what I perceived? Out of the 5 police officers that handled that dude, that I saw handle that dude, I'm pretty sure it was 3. Maybe I have to go back and watch it again, but I believe it was 3 white males, 1 white female, and 1 black female, and 1 big black dude kind of standing there. Okay, he wasn't doing that, but I feel like, and this is my bias, I guess you'll call it. I feel like I was happy that he didn't necessarily get in, because I feared what would happen. But out of the 5 people that handled the dude, I think 2 of them were aggressive, overly aggressive. Donna says, where can I find it? I don't have my other screen. Otherwise, I would put it up here and I would show it. But I don't have my other screen. Angela says, I think you're definitely looking at it with a more critical eye. So help me look at it with a less critical eye. Let me see if I can find it. Wrong button. No. Yeah, here we are. Let's see. This will be scorching heat. If we go here, I was not prepared for this. Let's see if we turn that off and we go here. Let's see. All right. Here, I'm going to try to get it over here. I was not prepared to do this. Let me see if I can. See, I got a lot of stuff here I got to get working. Here, if we go. I don't know that I go there. Let me do this. Y'all, excuse me for trying to get this over here. It was not my intent doing this. And let me see if I do that. And I do that. So let me hide that so that I can see the controls. Turn on the audio to that. Again, this is video from WCPO, and hopefully the audio will be there.
Base, can we get back up in 560 now? Scott?
Stay there. Don't
Have him sit
move.
down, Scott.
Don't move.
Have him scoot in, and if you could just stand behind him, please. I didn't hear Base respond, did you?
Is she calm?
Go cover me.
Judge, can you hit the panic alarm, please?
My cousin's legs.
Okay.
Grab my cups out of my purse.
Nope, okay.
So they put a cuff on it.
You gonna cup up for us? All right, roll over on your stomach.
Roll over. Stop. Stop. Let me hear you.
Yeah, the attorney down at their feet was just sitting there.
Yeah, I got it. I don't have them, they're on him. These are not gonna be comfortable. You go ahead.
Oh, got it. Calm down. Calm down. Stop.
All right.
Stop. You okay? Stop. Stop.
Neil and Harvey right here. Sonia and Rose. Might need a supervisor.
Is she about to tell him to take him down?
What happened? He jumped over?
Man, I'd have just said holding back.
Under my foot. Under my foot. Stop.
What's wrong?
Chill out, dude. Take him. Take him there. No.
Chill out. Chill out.
No.
Yeah. Chill out.
Sit down. Sit.
No.
Sit down now.
Have a seat. Leave it. You good? Have a seat. Chill out.
I'm good. No.
Have a seat in the courtroom. You got prior cuffs?
No.
He's
We
fine.
give you stuff.
He's just acting a fool.
Sir, stop talking or we're taking you into custody. Sit down and be calm.
You ain't even in here.
I'm good. I want you to be okay.
You good? Dude ain't even in here no more. Chill out. Ain't no reason to fight us. You understand? That's just gonna hurt you. No reason to fight us. Dude ain't even in here. You got it? Take a minute, breathe, chill out. No reason to fight us.
Scorching heat.
So that's the video. Hold on. Now let me turn that off there. So that's the video. Hold on. Now let me move over here. So now I got to take all this stuff down. Remove that. Go back there. But I'm not saying she did anything horrible. But at a point, I thought she was aggressive unnecessarily. Everybody else was kind of, I mean, yeah, you got to throw dude around because he's trying to get where he's trying to get. But he doing that because he hurting. He doing that because he's hurting. So you don't have to be aggressive with him. Ben says, I oversold it. All I did was say she said what she said. I don't know that that's overselling. She was aggressive. DeAndre says it was necessary. He was zoned out. Okay, someone thinks it was necessary. That's sad. The sister was a bit much, but maybe she was anxious and scared. All right. I thought Lincoln said she was talking to him, helping him to calm down. This was the opposite. The white guy cop was more sympathetic. Seemed that way. But again, different people deal with different things in different ways. And so, maybe she was trying to snap him out of it. And she felt like, stop, calm down, was going to actually calm him down. Even though it's been my experience that yelling at people very rarely ever calms them down. We understand her reason, but you got to gain control. It was enough of them there to gain actual control. All right. Hold on.
It's going to be held downtown, starting right at the corner of 7th and Plum. It's going to move its way down Vine Street.
But hold on a
ending up
second,
here at the
CK.
park
We
for the
can't hear you
festival
yet.
right after. There are
'Cause
nearly 200 local businesses.
Stop that before I turn this audio back on. So, all right. And hold on here. Got to do one or two things, CK. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. CK?
Emanuel, how you doing, brother?
CK, I'm doing good. How are you?
Man, alive and well, man. Like you said, man, can't be stopped, man. This is a beautiful day, ain't it?
It is a beautiful day.
Did you read that book? Are you a reader, a book reader?
I read books.
Did you read that how to win an argument every time?
Wait a minute. Let me answer that question thoroughly. I read books. I'm not a big book reader because my mind wanders when I read. So it takes me so long to read books. Like I'll read 5 sentences and then I'm back to thinking about something that I read in the 5 sentences. Like
I got the same thing wrong with
me. But my eyes keep reading, and then next thing I know, I'm at the end of a page, and I really only internalized the first 5 sentences. So I have to go back and read the whole thing over again. It takes me forever to read a book. I think I need some medicine for that. But go ahead.
I can't even do a sitcom, do the same thing with a little 22-minute sitcom. I'll be like you said, the mind wanders. Then you got to go back and rewind. Like I was watching it, but I wasn't watching it.
But go ahead. What was your point you was making?
This is the thing, man. Did you read that How to Win an Argument Every Time?
No.
Because you knocked them dead on that abortion debate. It's over. Remember they said it is murder if she wanted the kid. That's what we've been trying to say the whole time. It's murder if I wanted the kid too, right?
Well, I could see that argument being made.
see, they arguing against themselves. They arguing against themselves because you're saying, okay, if the man don't want the baby and he kill the baby, it's murder. But then if the mama, like she said, she told you, it wouldn't even matter. You wouldn't even know. So like you told her, ultimate power.
It is a power
Ultimate
move.
power.
Yeah, it is a power move.
And the thing is, all we need is, like you said, me and you can't even say, well, I'm down with killing babies. But neither can they. So they lie, and instead of telling the truth, they say, well, you know what? It's not a baby, it's a fetus. Well, is it a fetus if I kill the woman that's about to have my fetus?
Well,
now it's murder.
Apparently, CK, it's a magic fetus. It's a magic fetus.
Mm-hmm.
If she does not want it, it's just a fetus. It's not a life. If she does want it, it's a life, and you can't do nothing to it. So it's a magic fetus that changes with her mind. And as men, we just have to accept these magical fetuses or feti.
And just like the debate with the death penalty, right? You're against the death penalty. I'm for the death penalty, right?
If you say so. I don't understand why, but
yeah, no, because listen, I know that I'm wrong. I'm saying that's the thing with the abortion. You just got to call it what it is. I'm for something. I'm really I don't believe in it, but I'm with it because I'm saying I'm wrong for believing in it. It's just like the abortion. Just say, okay, the reason that you're giving me against the death penalty is valid enough for me to be against it, as far as the innocent people that we losing. But I get so, like you say, emotionally caught up and traumatized in certain situations, then I do want the death penalty, but I fundamentally can admit to being wrong. That's what I'm saying. So that's the thing. Abortion people can't even admit that it's a murder of the baby. But at least I can admit, you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I see what you mean in a kind of convoluted way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I know, okay, he's saying he's against the death penalty because we're losing innocent people to this law. And all we saying as far as the abortion is, if that's you can't just make it a woman's because it's two people that made it. So the father might want the baby to live.
True.
If the baby if you want the baby to live, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to tell you about
he doesn't
the guy
matter.
that got
the father doesn't matter. But go ahead. You wanted to tell me about what?
Yeah, the father doesn't matter, right? So what's your theory if she could do whatever she wants and just have the baby, your opinion don't matter on your fetus. Should the father have the same right? Should he have the same right of not taking care of the child that she has of having an abortion?
I've said that, but I don't actually believe that. I believe every father should take care of their child. And I don't just mean money. I mean, take care of, love, protect, support, all of that stuff. Everything that goes into, I believe every father should do that and should be obligated to do
it. And I think if you are for abortion and saying Black Lives Matter, you're fighting against yourself. If you're against abortion, you should be against the death penalty. If you're for abortion, you should be for the death penalty. So that's why I gotta admit that I lose the debate with you with death penalty because I am against abortion, but for death penalty. So fundamentally, I'm wrong.
CK,
that's what.
CK, you wanted to talk about the father of Nilo Richardson?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I think the judge was wrong in doing that, incarcerating that man. The judge has power. She needs to show her power, flex her muscle, let that man go. We all know that he's going through a traumatic experience. You flex your muscle, let the man go. What are you doing by locking him up? You're trying to push him to the breaking point. He's already going through it. He lost his baby. He lost his daughter. I mean, not the son and his lady. So I think the judge needs to show compassion. You are being racist by locking this man up. Where's the compassion? Why would you lock a man up who just lost their loved ones like that? And you know why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I think they should be more aware of everything going on. The way that they're stationed and positioned opens up for things like that to happen. But in a situation, and you see this, I watch a lot of different court shows, like real court shows, not like TV court stuff. And you see this periodically when you see tragic situations like, some teenage girl got murdered by some crazy dude. And I don't even like using the term crazy because that kind of excuses like he did it because he's crazy.
Exactly.
Like, no, but when, you see some terrible human hurt a teenager, the father, the brothers, the whoever want to get revenge or they want to lash out. And I think in situations like that, court security has to be much better. It has to be much better. But I do agree with you. Hopefully they go ahead and let him out. He shouldn't have to do 7 days.
He should have been. You just stop. You just take him up there, let him calm down, send his ass home. You can't come back no more. This is how we handle that. Don't treat him like he's a criminal.
Yeah.
He is just a victim who's going through this is what happened. That's just like if a cop get murdered and I go to the trial and I laugh at the cop's family. Now, when I get beat down, nobody gets arrested. And when you murder a cop and they beat the assailant, the victim up, nobody gets arrested for abusing the shooter or the cop. So you use the same rules. If you're not punishing these cops for abusing cop killers, you shouldn't punish this victim for abusing the killer of his people.
All right, but just I have to say it out loud just so that we're sure we're not encouraging hurting any cops or anybody.
No, not at all. I'm saying that's the rule of the law. You know what's going to happen,
I know
right? You're going to get your head cracked in that cell. If you do something to a police officer, they're going to take justice. They're going to take vengeance, what do they call it? Vigilante justice on you.
CK, I understood what you were saying, but people will take it and twist it because that's what they love to do. So I was just clarifying that. Now, let me ask you one more question. Bill Cosby, they found him liable for, doing some stuff to a 16-year-old in like 1975. Are you ready to admit that you might be a little wrong about Bill Cosby?
Right, 75. Now that proved he innocent from the year. That's before we was born. We wasn't even here. Still swimming in daddy nuts. How is we gonna say he did something for 75? If they say, come on, Emmanuel, if I told you, Emmanuel smacked me in 1992, that's a lie. Why didn't I say nothing in 92? Why would I wait till to say that Emmanuel smacked me in 92? You got to use common sense, Emmanuel.
It don't necessarily make it a lie. It don't necessarily make it a lie just because you didn't. So wait, I got to ask you this question in all honesty. Like, forget radio, forget internet, forget all of that. CK and Emanuel sitting here genuinely having a conversation. You really don't believe that Bill Cosby did anything wrong? Like, you genuinely, again, no radio, no internet, any of that kind of stuff. You genuinely don't believe that Bill Cosby or R. Kelly did anything wrong?
Right. How you just gonna slip R. Kelly in there, man? Right, that's how you know you don't believe it. Because I never said R. Kelly was innocent. Never.
Let's just stick with Bill Cosby. You really genuinely don't believe Bill Cosby did anything
now
wrong?
We know, okay, R. Kelly, he's guilty. We've seen it on tape. Bill Cosby is just like Michael Jackson. He's just like Mike Tyson, Tupac Shakur. Yes, they was having sex with groupies, but the groupies seen a money angle when the Me Too movement was born, and they went after him just like Deshaun Watson.
What about
getting the Bill Cosby
what about
treatment.
drugging people? What about the fact that he was drugging people, and that he did admit to drugging people? What about that? You think that's okay?
No. I think for the drugging, that's a great question. I think they was in it together like Molly. They like Molly. They was drugs together. They was getting. I don't think, me personally, I don't believe he was secretly planting drugs in women's drinks to have sex with them. I just don't believe that to be true. I think it's a good lie to tell because you can't defend it.
All right.
Because all you got to do is pay the women,
okay, and
pay them enough money.
All right, one last thing. One last thing. Are you a Trump supporter?
Come on, man. I voted for the sex. What's wrong with people? I mean, that's when I start losing respect for the intellect of black people, because I done told you 1,000 times that I voted for Biden and Kamala Harris. So where do Trump come in at?
Well,
How does that even fit in?
I didn't recall you telling me that. I didn't ask.
I've been telling you because y'all always say the same stuff. It's becoming ignorant.
CK, I didn't ask the question, but I'm saying the logic that you're using with Bill Cosby is the same logic that Trump supports you. No matter how much proof, no matter how much whatever that they evidence that they see, they can hear testimony of the people who were there and who were in the room. They still find an excuse to not believe what all of the facts and testimony point towards. And you are using the exact same logic on this Bill Cosby thing that the Trump supporters are using with the Trump thing.
But Emmanuel, the logic is simple. If you are a powerful black man, you will be targeted and they will hit you. Now, you need something you could prove. What's wrong with hitting people with law? George Floyd,
you know what you're saying?
Derek Chauvin murder him.
You know what you're saying right now? What you're saying is it's a witch hunt. That's Trump talk. That's what you're saying with Bill Cosby.
So you're telling me if what black men haven't been witch hunted. So you're saying that don't happen? We don't get targeted?
So you are saying it's a witch hunt. You are in the same way that those Trump supporters support Trump no matter what.
So was Michael Jackson? So what? How old? Let me ask you: was Michael Jackson guilty? Was he molesting no kids, or do you think it was a witch hunt? What do you think?
I don't know.
There you go. So if Michael Jackson got accused, if Mike Tyson got accused, if Tupac got accused, Deshaun Watson right now as we speak got 66 women on him. You believe these guys are just? So you believe black women are just inherently rapists? No, that's what you believe.
No, I don't know. That's what I believe.
So when you can't, so when I defend my people now, I'm Trump. No, I'm defending the black. But that ain't got nothing to do with Trump.
Your people has already admitted that they drugged women. They've already admitted it.
And like I said, the Central Park 5 admitted to raping a woman. Just because you say something don't make.
Oh my goodness! Now Bill Cosby is the Central Park 5. Oh my goodness! Oh boy, he's using the Trump supporter logic. Am I wrong on that? Bill Cosby admitted it. We got him admitting it. Well, it's a witch hunt. Maybe it was somebody else. They planned it. But in court, and he was found guilty. He admitted to doing it. Well, they after him because there's a black man. They don't. But what about all the witnesses? People will say anything. They probably getting paid. I don't even know if that was like. Oh my goodness! It's Trump supporter logic. It is Trump supporter logic. Alonzo said, Bill Cosby is his hero, just like Trump is their hero. He is using Trump supporter logic. He is 100% using Trump supporter logic. 100%. 100%. And I don't understand that. Like when the facts prove and bear something out, no matter how hard you want to believe it. For example, I like PG Sittenfeld. Every time I've ever met PG Sittenfeld was a nice dude. He seemed honorable. He seemed like a politician. Sure, he seemed like a politician because, he was a politician. So, he measured his words here and there, but he seemed like a good, honorable dude. And I'm not sure that he did what they're saying that he did. Because I hear him on the audio saying, yeah, this ain't no quid pro quo. I don't want to do anything unethical. I just want that money. That's some politician stuff right there. That's some politician stuff. But I'll keep paying attention to what comes out, as they're reporting. And if they show that, especially if PG was on tape, like, hey, you give me that money, you getting that deal. I'd have to be like, PG's guilty. He did that. Even though I like PG, I would have had to admit, yeah, he guilty. He did that. Now, they ain't showed me that yet, but I would have to admit it. I don't understand the logic. Fran says, people always use the same type of logic in defense of their idols, no matter the ethnicity. Mary says, he has not done anything for the Black community. He who? PG? And it depends on your definition of doing things for the Black community. It depends on your definition of doing things for the Black community. I know that he did some things for people in Black neighborhoods. He did some things for people in I would say he did some things for the Black community. I think I'm going to disagree with that. Now, I have to think specifically of what it was. And if I remember, then I'll bring it up. But yeah, he did. Would I say he was a champion of the Black community? No. But then at the same time, I don't expect white politicians to be champions of the Black community. I kind of expect them to do just enough to try to get that Black vote. Like, don't call us ends or say you people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, this is what it's not good. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying that I expect white politicians to do the least that they can do and get away with to endear themselves to the Black community. Like I said, don't call nobody an end. Don't refer to us as you people, stuff like that. And give some lip service in terms of support. And then maybe do a little bit here and a little bit there. A little bit here and a little bit there. Enough to say, so when somebody like Mary said, you didn't do nothing for the Black community, you can say, yeah, I did. A whole lot of Black people in Avondale called me. There was this huge pothole. And nothing but Black people called me, and they wanted that pothole filled. I filled that pothole. That ain't nothing for the Black community. It was Black people complaining about. You know what I'm saying? I expect to see that from white politicians. If you see more, great. But that's about my level of expectation for a white politician. And I have to admit, and I might be wrong for this, and I'll ask you, am I wrong for this? I expect a little bit more out of a Black politician. I expect a little bit more out of a Black politician. You're Black. You should be doing more for the Black community because you're a part of the Black community. You're a part of the Black community. Alonzo says, Bill Cosby talked bad about Blacks all the time before all the allegations came out. That's why I don't understand why some of us ride so hard for it. Alonzo, I agree with you. And that was what soured me on Bill Cosby. That was what soured me on Bill Cosby. Before then, I wouldn't say I was a Bill Cosby fan. Like, I liked the Cosby Show, some of the earlier seasons. Um, you know, Fat Albert, you can't, hey, you can't beat that. You know, I watched Fat Albert growing up. Never really got into his stand-up all that much. And the little movies that he did, never thought was funny. But I did like the Cosby Show. So I wasn't anti, good afternoon, Tracy. I wasn't anti Bill Cosby. But then when he started talking crazy about black people, I was anti Bill Cosby. I'm like, cancel that in. Cancel that in before they was talking about canceling. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. And it really made me look at the Cosby Show different. Or differently. I'm not sure which. But it made me look at the Cosby Show differently. Like, not just, oh, he's showing us an example or showing America an example of what, giving them an alternative to what they've always been presented as a black family. And I was like, was that what he was doing? Or was he kind of really like saying to black people, if you not this, then you the problem. If you not a doctor and a lawyer and got kids, all your kids go to college and graduate, and you ain't got money and wealth, and then you are the problem in the black community. Okay, that's a stretch. I know that's a stretch, but any black man who grew up poor, a poor black man in the projects, according to him, and you can look at black people, for real, there's one statement, just poor black people don't value education. Man, what a hell of a brush to paint all poor black people with. And I'm like, if that's how he feel about poor black people, all of them, this show might have been kind of a Bill Cosby slap in the face to poor black people. What about the Jeffersons? What about them? Kim, I don't understand the question. Bill Cosby didn't do the Jeffersons, did he? And that wasn't his show. He didn't write, executive produce that show or create that. So I'm not sure what you're asking. Like, I don't necessarily, I never viewed the Cosby Show that way. I was one of those who was like, hey, it's good to see a different spin on a black family on TV. Theo wasn't all thugged out and going to jail and couldn't get a job and all of that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, I like that. I mean, he's going to school, even though he did give him that learning disorder, but his son apparently had a learning disorder. So that kind of made sense. But he still persevered and went to college and graduated. Like, you can't beat that. That's just how I was looking at the Cosby Show all those years. Was he 100% wrong? Yes, he was 100% wrong. It is 100% wrong to paint all people with that broad of a brush. Now, he wouldn't have been wrong if he'd have said some black people don't value education. Some poor black people don't value education. Yeah, he would have been right. That wasn't what he said. So yes, that was 100% wrong. It wasn't 20% wrong. It wasn't 80% wrong. It was 100% wrong. Tammy says, that's why I couldn't watch Good Times. And so the Cosby Show was a good alternative to all of that other stuff. And I mean, even from the Jeffersons, like it was, the Jeffersons, George, he was a hardworking dude, whatever, the dry cleaners, and then he got rich, but the Cosby Show, kind of the way they painted it, like they worked hard, they not rich. They're just like upper middle class. That's different than rich. They didn't have a butler and a doorman and all of that kind of stuff. Of course, they wasn't good times. James couldn't find a job. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't that. So that's how I looked at it all of those years. But then when he came out, dogging black people, I was like, maybe that wasn't what he was trying to do. And it did make me look at the show itself differently. Because he fell victim to the media programming. The vast majority of black folk work hard and take care of their families. Exactly. And value education. And I had to tell y'all, which is why I really don't like Bill Cosby. I can say I don't like Bill Cosby. I took it personal. I didn't grow up rich. As a matter of fact, I would say, I might have grew up poor. But I know my black mother valued education. You wasn't dropping out of school. You was going to go to college. Education was the way. So the way I looked at it, when Bill says poor black people don't value education, you talking about my mama. Why you lying on my mama? That was the way I took it. And then when all that stuff came out, I had to be honest. And people say it all the time. But I was open to believing it even before evidence. I was open to believing it even before the evidence. I'm one of these people who, how do you put it? I'm one of these people where, look, if you do people wrong, I want to see wrong done to you. I'll applaud what some people call karma. I'll applaud when it comes back on you. So from my perspective, Bill, you want to lump all poor black people in this basket. And that wasn't all he said. That was just the part that I took personal. That you want to lump all of these poor black people into this basket when misfortune befalls you. Don't look for sympathy, because you don't have sympathy for people who you perceive as less than you. So I was prepared, and actually kind of got a tad bit of satisfaction, because I had to go to the Black People Ain't Shit tour for the radio station. Remember, he came here, he was at Centos. Lauren Lake spoke first. She preached. She preached. She did. It's just the truth. And I like Lauren. I worked with her, one-on-one for about a week. And she was a very nice lady. But she preached at the Centos Center that time. I had to be there, and I had to sit there, and I had to listen to him bash black people for what felt like 2 hours. It was probably about 30, 45 minutes. And the whole time I was sitting there and people was cheering this stuff. Yeah, Bill, you tell them. You right. No, well, that right there. That's what they were doing, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, but he used no qualifiers like some, a good number, a portion. What if it was to motivate some of the Black community. Well, why bash the whole Black community to motivate some? Why bash all poor Black people to motivate some poor Black people? I don't care why you call me an N. You called me an N. I was doing it to motivate you to not be an N. I don't care why. This man, at his own expense, booked theaters and stadiums, arenas, maybe not stadiums, booked arenas and theaters at his own expense to travel the country to talk bad about Black people. So yes, Lewis, I was inclined to believe it even before the evidence. He says that's how Black people go to jail for crimes they didn't commit every day. Well, I was not inclined. If I were on the jury, I would listen to the evidence. Because you can believe anything. I can believe whatever I wanted. I believe Cosby did that, but they didn't prove it. I would have to find Cosby not guilty. I believe Cosby did it, but they didn't have any evidence. I got to find him not guilty. But yeah, I was inclined to believe it. But then the evidence came out and kind of backed that up. You are just like them. You like to see us go to prison for crimes we didn't commit. I don't know how you get that out of what I said, but you got a right to believe it if that's what you want to believe. How did you feel when Biden said you're not Black if you don't vote for him? I didn't like that at all. I think I was on the air. When he said that. He was running and I said that was bad. He shouldn't have said that. That's your question. Do you believe OJ was guilty? I don't know. I'm more inclined to not believe it. I'm more inclined to not believe it even after seeing all of the evidence. I'm inclined to not believe it. But what difference do that make? I wasn't on the jury. They found him not guilty. I think I would have found him not guilty as well, just because you got a racist cop. There's a good chance that evidence was planted. And so I have to dismiss some of the evidence as potentially being planted. And if I can't believe the evidence, then, or if I discredit evidence, I can't find him guilty. I can't find him guilty. Oh my God. I can't wait to defend Mr. Cosby. You gonna defend Bill Cosby? So you believe, I can't wait to this next show too. And I just one question. You believe that poor Black people don't value education. He said those words. He didn't say some. He didn't say most. He didn't say a few. He said poor Black people don't value education. That's what he said. And he was drugging bitches. What? Oh, I can't wait till Monday. I can't wait till Monday for you to defend Bill Cosby. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God. He thought he was untouchable because he's dogging out Black folks. Oh my goodness. I just tuned in. Can't believe the chaos I'm hearing. What chaos? What chaos? Oh my goodness. I can't wait till Monday. I can't wait till Monday. I gotta hear this defense of Bill Cosby. I gotta hear it. Now I'm excited for Monday. I am excited. Oh, Brent. Brent says, now I can't wait for Mondays, the King and I show. I can't either. He gonna defend Bill Cosby. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. He might change my mind. See, that's what I do. That's what I do. I listen. I present what I believe, but I'm an open-minded dude. Y'all might not believe this, but I'm a really open-minded dude. I'm willing to accept that it's possible that I'm wrong and hear the other side. So I can't wait. And maybe by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time he decides the show is over on Monday, maybe by that time, I will have changed my mind on Bill Cosby. I'm excited though. I'm excited. Why are you softer on white sellouts of the Black community? I'm not sure that I understand the question. On white sellouts of the Black community? I don't know that whites can sell out the Black community. I think only Blacks can sell out the Black community. But I'm not sure. I have to give that one some thought. Can a white person sell out the Black community? Because when I think of sellout, I think you got a stake. You got a stake in the community. And when we're talking about, the white community and the Black community, white people have a stake in the white community. Black people have a stake in the Black community. I can make money off of the white community. I can do things to harm the white community, theoretically. But I don't think I can sell out the white community because the white community is not relying on me for anything. I'm just thinking this through in real time. The white community is not relying on me to support them. The white community is not relying on me to speak for them or to speak on their behalf. The white community is not relying on me. So how can I sell them out? And I'm not beholden or have a great interest in what happens to the white community. So how can I sell them out? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm processing the question and what it means to me to be a sellout. Like I could sell myself out. Like this is what I believe. But okay, say I was like totally pro-abortion. I'm totally pro-abortion. Just stick with kind of the theme of the show. I'm totally pro-abortion, right? This is what I feel and believe deep down in my spirit. I'm kind of defining what a sellout is and how I could or couldn't sell out a community. So let's say I'm pro-abortion. I believe any woman who wanted an abortion should get an abortion anytime she wanted an abortion, for any reason she wanted an abortion, or even just for fun. I'm pro-abortion. But then some lobbyist, for example, comes up, offers me the right amount of money, the right amount of prestige. We're going to put you on CNN in place of Don Lemon, and we're going to pay you $37 million a year, and we're giving you a 10-year contract with, bonuses and incentives. And then out of nowhere, I am anti-abortion. Did I sell out women? No, I don't think I sold out, because I'm going against what I believe for, something of value, which changes my I allow that to change the position that I hold. So I sold out. But did I sell out women? Maybe if women are relying on me, to be their spokesperson for pro-abortion, then I sold them out. Maybe. I don't ever see that happening. So I guess if black people look at, say, a PG Sittenfeld and says, PG, you're one of us now. But some black people are known to do that. PG, you're one of us now. You speak for us. And then PG sells out the community. He could do it that way. So sure. But your question was, am I softer, or why am I softer on the white people who sell out the black community? Something like that. Yeah, why are you softer on white sellouts of the black community? Which, again, I had never really thought of it as being something that happens. But now that I've processed it and I see that it could happen, the only way, though, that it could happen is if we rely on white people to be the representative of the black community. So I would be softer on the white person who sell out the black community, because I would blame the black community for putting their eggs in that basket. I never relied on PG to be a spokesman for the black community. Never. I liked him, and I thought he did some good stuff, but he was PG. Now you take Alicia Reese on the other hand. If I find out Alicia Reese, like, hey, we're gonna get you some money, you stop advocating for these black people, and so on and so forth. And Alicia Reese was like, ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna be harder on Alicia, because she's actually a part of the black community. So, yeah. It happens all the time. Welcome to politics. Well, it shouldn't happen. I've never, and now I'm only speaking for me, which I guess is why I had to think it through and process the whole thing. I can't ever remember looking at a politician, a white man or a white woman, thinking, you are the black people's representative. You represent black interests. You represent and speak for the interests of the black community. I believe you represent me. And I believe that you're going to do everything in my best interest. I don't ever remember feeling that way about a single white politician ever. So they couldn't sell me out because I wasn't bought into them. Cleopatra Jones says, damn it, black people do depend on white people to represent them as a whole. Who? Honestly, I'm asking the question, what white person do black people look at and genuinely believe that this person is working in the best interest of black people? Because it's different to me saying, okay, you got to elect the representatives and there's two white people running against each other and I elect you as the senator, and then you go and he's representing me. He ain't representing black people. He got elected. He's representing supposedly this district. But I don't think he's up there saying, yeah, power to the people. I don't perceive it that way. Cleopatra Jones says the one they voted for. So wait a minute, just so I'm clear. Y'all really believe when y'all vote for even our mayor, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Oh, the duck. What is the duck? Aflac. Aftab Pureval. I don't know why I just drew a blank on his name. Again, I've met him. I've talked to him. I think he a good dude. But I don't expect, and I voted for him. I didn't vote for him thinking Aftab is going to go up there and represent the Black community. Not even. I don't expect him to do bad to the Black community, but no part of me is like, man, that's he one of us. He up there to represent Black people. No. I don't believe that. And but y'all telling me that when y'all vote for somebody white, that's really what you thinking? That's really what you thinking? You really thinking, because I vote for Greg Lansman. And another dude, I like Greg Lansman. I've never had a bad interaction with Greg Lansman to my recollection. And I believe he gonna run against Shabbat. I intend on voting for him. But I'm not voting for him like, yeah, he represents Black people. That's what y'all believe when y'all vote for these people? When I voted for him for council, I didn't think, man, he is up there to represent Black people. Again, you might say it's a fine line. I don't expect him to go up there to harm Black people. And I wouldn't have voted for him if I thought that, he would work in the worst interest of the Black community. So I'm voting for him, but I'm not voting for him like I'm voting for a brother. When I see a brother, I'm like, yeah, I really believe that when he go up there, he thinking kind of like, I'm getting old. The gay dude who was on council. Who's the gay dude that was on council? Chris. Why can't I remember his name? Chris. Somebody type his name in. The gay dude that was on council. Gay white dude, openly gay. You had to say that. No, not Chris Smitherman. The openly gay, Chris Silbach. Thank you. Chris Silbach. When I put my vote down for a Black person, I want them to go in representing Black people like Chris Silbach represented gay people. I want that to be the number one thing on their agenda. Chris Silbach kept his eyes open for slights to the gay community. And he tried to not let none get past him. He's like, how is that going to affect the gay community? You couldn't go to City Hall and say nothing negative about somebody gay. I was in there one day and somebody said something, it was like a little passing remark. And if you wasn't really paying attention, it would have went over your head. And Chris Silbach was sitting there and the dude had said his stuff. He had his time. Somebody else got up and talked. He said his stuff. He had his time. And I think, even though I'm not sure, I might be stretching it a little bit, but I think a third person got up and talked. And Chris Silbach, I blame you for that, Brent. Chris Silbach, before that next person got up, said, hold on, I got to say something. That guy said something about people in bathrooms, and I'm not just going to sit here and let him say that and let that, just be out there. He went back 2 or 3 comments to catch a little passing comment that went over his head but didn't sit right in his spirit. And he had to say something. He had to. That meeting was not going to end without him addressing that comment once it got in his head. And for real, it was like, the next speaker is, and he was like, hold on. Before we get to the next speaker, I think that person said something about gay people. And I'm not going to sit here and let anybody say something bad about gay people. He didn't use these words, but this is what he was saying. Like, it just dawned on me that he said something bad about gay people. And I'm not just going to sit here as a gay person and let somebody say something bad about gay people without addressing it. And then I think he addressed that dude like, dude, you out of line. You out of line for talking that way about gay people, and I will not accept it. You foul for that. All right, we can go ahead. Who the next speaker? He was not going to let it slide. So when I vote for somebody black, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. So wait a minute, hold on, wait. It's a deal where? Okay, how much of this money is going to black people? What? Somebody explain to me why black people can't get none of this money. If it's out there and we giving it away, somebody tell me why can't black people get some? Okay, well then tell me, what do black people have to do to get some? Oh, another B. Oh my goodness. How are these bees getting in? How are these bees getting in? Sorry, y'all, I gotta get him. He keep dipping as soon as I spray. There he is. Got him. All right. Oh, you can buzz all you want now. You about to die. I'm gonna have to see how these bees getting in. Somebody leave a door open or something? He trying to fight it. I don't know if y'all can hear him buzzing. He trying to fight it. Bro, just give up. Just give up. Die. Yeah, I'm going to have to check the windows. It's a window or something open. Somebody done opened up a door and they done snuck in. But yeah. They that This had to stay right here. I didn't have this problem when I was upstairs. But yeah, when I vote for somebody black, that's what I'm looking for. But I've never voted for somebody white expecting that. So they can't sell me out. They can't sell me out. I was not aware that bees was attracted to Dookie. You use half a can of insect spray on 2 bees. No, this can is not, those little sprays was nothing. There's a lot in this can. And what am I saying that's not true? What am I saying that's not true? I didn't say anything that's not true or reasonable. And I am disturbed by the fact that apparently there's black people walking around expecting white people to champion black people and black causes. Are kind of we as a people, not every individual, but are we as a people that brainwashed? Are we as a people that brainwashed? Again, I like PG. I like PG. And, look, if you bring it up to PG, I could see PG saying, well, yeah, what about money for the black community for that project? I asked that question. I didn't say anything about Biden. I could see PG saying that. Prompted. Maybe if the right people is in the room. But I would expect, I was about to say somebody that I wouldn't expect it from. I would expect a black representative to do it. But we don't see it enough. We don't see it enough. We hear enough lip service about it, but we don't see it enough. B-Rab says, so what's the point of voting? Well, again, the point of voting, and I know people hate this term, but I use it because it kind of fits, is the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils. You got a KKK dude who hate black people and want to see you exterminated running for office, and you got a black dude, a KKK white dude that hates you and want to see you exterminated running for office to represent you. And you got a white dude who legit got black friends and, care a little bit about the black community. Don't want to see them hurt. Who would you rather see in office making decisions about the city? I don't want the people who want me, exterminated up there making the decisions about the black community. I'll take the people he don't really care about me, but he don't want to see me. His goal ain't to see me harmed. If I gotta choose one of the two, give me the anti-extermination dude. And if it's the extermination dude versus a black dude, give me the black dude. Unless the black dude want to see me exterminated. And if the black dude want to see me exterminated, I'm sure not voting for him because he gonna go harder for my extermination probably than the KKK white dude. Because he got to prove itself. But I know that was an exceptionally sharp contrast. And the contrast is typically not that sharp. But somebody gonna make a decision. Somebody gonna make a decision. The question becomes, which decision do you believe is gonna benefit you the most or harm you the less, whichever way you want to look at it? So the less of evil represents blacks. No, like, I'm wondering, like, the stuff I'm saying, I feel like it's really simple. Again, I think black people represent black people. But if you got to put somebody in a position to make a decision for you, and ain't no black people around, who you gonna put in the decision? Who you gonna put in a position to make the decision? B-Rab. Believe it or not, you vote all the time. Not in political whatever, but you vote all the time. When you decide who gonna handle your money, you voting. You look around, ain't none of these people got your best interest at heart. They got their best interest at heart. Maybe if you make more money, then they make more money. So you like, hey, I'm gonna go with the dude who gonna harm me the least. But they all want their fees. They all want their cut. Who you going with? The dude that you believe is gonna scam you and take your money, or the dude that you believe is gonna make you the most and take the smallest cut? Which one you want handling your money? You vote all the time. You make a decision who gonna represent you in some way, shape, or form. It's just in politics, we talking about who gonna, make the up there at the federal level, who's gonna vote on these new laws and policies. What you're saying is contradicting. How? How? Please tell me how. I'm open to listen. Would somebody bring X-Clan NWA dude out of the 80s? Is every man for himself now? It's not. It's not. You know, the laws that are out here, you got to abide by them too, or you get arrested. Guess who's making these laws? The people that you elect to represent you. So it's not every man for himself. And if you put the right people in there, then you can get the right laws passed to create a better situation for you. Possibly. It's not every man for himself. That's the mentality that's got everybody all messed up. Well, not everybody, but they got a lot of people messed up. You think all these ordinances in the city come from? Somebody passes them. People sit down at City Hall and they say, how much we want to charge people for a parking ticket? $5? No, that ain't enough. $10 more. $20? We can do better than that. No, I think if people parking and they debate this stuff, and then eventually they say, all right, it's $15. And you go, I got a parking ticket. It was $15. Every man for himself. But no, it affects you. Even down to the parking ticket, it affects you. And the people that get elected make that decision. Voting affects you if you don't vote. That's why people, if you don't vote, you don't have a say. It affects you. And that's black, white, gay, whatever. But the difference is, if you're talking about parking tickets, using my Silbach analogy, Silbach would be down there like, oh, he might not say it out loud, but he'd be thinking, I wonder how many gay people get parking tickets. Can somebody run the number on gay people getting parking tickets? I don't know, you telling me more gay people get parking tickets than straight people? No, the parking ticket should be $5. Oh, but that doesn't help the city's budget, and we need to. This is going to disproportionately affect my community. And so the lower the ticket, the less the effect it is going to have on my community. And he down there advocating for that $5 parking ticket. That's what I'm telling you, B-Rab. I don't expect Chris Silbach to be like, how many black people get tickets? Well, I'm gay, so let's not disproportionately affect the black community. No, he gay. He want to protect the gay community. He white from the West Side, so he want to protect the West Side community. He's Catholic and white. He want to protect the Catholic community. Where's the brother down there saying, wait a minute, how does this affect my community? How does this affect my community? Hold on, before we talk about these prices. Somebody give me the numbers. What, more black people getting parking tickets in Cincinnati? No, let's keep these tickets low. Because it's going to disproportionately affect my community. You need somebody down there representing you. And the point that I'm making is, I just don't expect, it'd be nice, but I don't expect other people to represent the black community as well as a black person should represent the black community. What if you black but you live in a white community. Your ass shouldn't have moved to the white community. No, I'm just playing. You still got to think about your interests, because there are gonna be things that affect you. There's gonna be things that affect you. You're unemployed on a moped under Biden, right? How did Biden benefit you, E-Man? Wake up. Well, Biden had nothing to do with that, especially the moped. What did Biden have to do with that? Trump didn't give me a new moped or a new scooter. Another Trump administration wouldn't have got me a new moped or a new scooter. And it was under the Trump administration that they created all of these mandates. You gotta get vaccinated. That was the Trump administration who did that. So my unemployment, if anything, I would say, even though I wouldn't say this either, but if I had to attribute it to an administration, I would say that was a product of the Trump administration. B-Rab says, you're not making sense. I'm making perfect sense. Just because you don't understand it don't mean. It will never be a black person that will run on a black agenda. I don't think that's true. I don't think that was true. B-Rab says, no, it was the Biden administration. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. They had vaccine mandates under Trump. Remember, Biden didn't take office until January, but January 20th. January 20th. These mandates were already in effect before then. Not trying to insult you, brother, but everything Biden did affected you. Everything, all of them do affect me. I'm not one who don't believe it affects me. But in terms of a negative effect for what you brought up, if anything, that was the Trump administration. Now, I don't actually think it was either administration's fault that the company that I worked for developed a policy of mandating vaccines for its employees. I don't think that was Trump's fault. I don't think that was Biden's fault. That's just the policy that the company developed. That's not true. Biden administration incentivized corporate COVID mandates, but those mandates already existed. They already existed. It's true. All right. Simple question. Are you trying to convince me that there were no mandates under the Trump administration? Simple question. Were there mandates under the Trump administration? Yes? No? No, they didn't. Trump only rolled out the vax. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's something else we'll have to discuss on Monday, because I distinctly remember there being vaccine mandates. I distinctly remember that. But I might be remembering it wrong. Look, again, I have an open mind. So I might be remembering it wrong. I'll look it up. Trump mishandled the virus response. He is responsible for a man getting fired. He's not. He did not get out in front of it, and millions died under Trump. Trump is not responsible for me getting fired. No, he himself may have been, but that administration, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. I am accepting that I might be what they call it, misremembering. I might be misremembering. So I'm accepting that. I'll look it up. I'm telling you, I remember them policies being under Trump when they rolled out the vaccine. Let's see. Right there. Right there. I'm sorry, I'm reading. It's not telling me. Hold on, let me see. Okay, that one, no. I have to look it up. I will have to look it up. I don't want y'all to just sit here and watch me looking stuff up on the computer. You voted for a president that got your ass fired. He didn't get me fired. It's just true. He didn't get me fired. Neither he nor Trump got me fired. But if that's what y'all want to believe, y'all can. Angela says, I think the mandate came in after Biden took office. All right. It's possible. It's possible I'm wrong. It's possible I'm wrong. It is quite possible. Hold on, there was something else. LaDonna says, just wrong, E-Man. It's possible. It's possible. Let me see. Trucking with, I can't see the name, says Trump only suggested people get the jab. The get the jab or get fired didn't happen until Biden took office. All right. Y'all saying I'm wrong. I'm going to look it up. And if I'm wrong, then I'll say I was wrong. I don't have a problem saying that when I'm wrong. And then, to my point earlier, if I find out I'm wrong, I change my mind. I change my position. I change my opinion. Because who wants to just run around being wrong? So, all right. Now, it was Biden's decision to enforce a vaccine mandate on government employees. Yes. Yes. You have long COVID fogginess. I really do. I really do. I really do. The gig is up. I thought it was the jig is up on Biden, E-Man. All right. Let's see. They tried to force you to abort your religious beliefs and you wasn't having it. Well, that's true. I had COVID in 2021 once he was in office and there was still lockdown. Biden is the reason. Biden was not the reason. Biden was not the reason. But all right, I'll look into it. And if I'm wrong, I'll be on here Tuesday, probably Monday. Because if I'm wrong, I believe Wyatt will definitely bring it up. So if I'm wrong, then it'll probably be Monday that I admit that I was wrong live on the air. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. All right, y'all. It is almost 4 o'clock. Why y'all let me go to 4 o'clock? Why y'all let me go to 4 o'clock? Somebody should have been like, Emanuel, it's past 3. It's time to go. What? I see how y'all do. I see how y'all do. But I got to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, spending a little time talking to me, all of that good stuff. I appreciate it. As always, so I'm doing a lot of stuff here, closing stuff, getting ready to get out of here, minimizing stuff. As always, I hope something amazing happens in your life today. Till next time. It's been the Afternoon Experiment. I'm out, y'all. Peace.